Alright guys, welcome to the Fish Barn. So let's see who we've got in the chat here. Alright guys, welcome to the Fish Barn. So let's see who we've got in the chat here. Got a JV mistake here, left my other YouTube on. So that's all shut off now. So let's see who we've got. I got Dan Slee, Candy Overhauls. Thank you, Candy, for being the moderator as always. Got Chewy LTD, Big D Smoke, Deborah Sanders, 44 Mad Guy 1, Cichlids 23, Turbo Fish, Pam 54 Punchy, Patricia Kloppel. Let's see, Quantum Star. Hey Melvin. Vinovsky Tanks is here as well. Let's see. Matthew Moore Cichlids. And I think I've got everybody. So if I missed anyone, please send my apologies. So give it another second or so. Looks like we've got 15 here. So let's go ahead, I guess, and jump right into the topic. So another fellow YouTuber, you may have heard of him. His name is Michael's Fish Room. Did do a video regarding a local store near me and some of the dead fish that were in the store. So, obviously there's no excuse for that. I'm not going to defend the store. So, that being said, it's you can't have that. They were crusty. They'd been there for days. He took the video down because of the children that were in the video that were at the store. So I understand that, but want to talk a little bit today and kind of take that subject a little bit deeper and kind of talk about basically, what are your expectations of your local fish store? I want to tie that into the Germany thing as well. I just got back from Germany about a month ago. Saw some pretty interesting things there as well and how they keep their fish. That was pretty much a stark contrast to the other the fish store that Michael had shown, so definitely something to keep in mind. New York style, so we were talking about pizza, so fan of the Chicago style, so I will be at Aquashella, speaking of Chicago. We'll be there on Sunday only, unfortunately, maybe Saturday night. Basically, my daughter's birthday party is that weekend as well, so I'm going to have to do that and then head over to Chicago. It's about a 5-hour drive for me from Detroit, so it shouldn't be too bad. So I did jot down, a couple things here. Kind of what you would expect from your local fish store. So one for me, you want it to be clean. You don't want it to be, messy. There is a store that Michael could have gone to that's not too far from there. I'm not going to name the store because I'm not going to do that, but I may have mentioned it on the stream before. It's kind of a cross between the Mogwai shop from Gremlins and a biker club. So basically, it's all painted black. You go in the back door. It's pretty interesting place. It's a little bit. It was a little bit dank, a little bit damp. I did have my video equipment with me the day that I was there, so it was actually. I actually was tempted to film it, but didn't do so. So let's go ahead now and talk about what you would expect from your store. We talked about being clean, obviously. I'm going to say minimal dead fish because dead fish do happen from time to time. It's not something that you can really prevent completely. But at the same time, you shouldn't leave them in there for more than a couple hours. You take them out, just like you would at home, right? If you're here, you happen to lose a fish, you take it out, take care of it, either flush it, throw it out, whatever you do with it. So definitely something that happens. But at the same time, you can't leave them in there to the condition that they were in that store. I mean, there's no excuse for that. And I'd watched the follow-up video that Michael had done on that, and and then the owner said there was no excuse as well, which is good. But at the same time, you really can't have take them out in a timely manner. So Patricia's got a good point as well. The workers are knowledgeable. This is an interesting one. I didn't write this one down. Yes and no. I'm going to say depending on your level of experience. Like, I don't need help. I know what the fish are. I know what I'm looking for. So I kind of depend on my own knowledge more than the local fish store. There's a saltwater person out there who does skeptical reef keeping. His name is Richard Ross. And I think as hobbyists we should all be skeptical. Excuse me. We should definitely think about what the person who's talking to us about is saying, right? I'm not gonna say Joe Schmo's fish store owner. He's like, well, you should go use this Seachem product over here. Okay, well, that's because he's selling it. You need to research it, think for yourself, and then decide what you want to do. So that's always something that I'm really keen on. It's like, take everything everyone says with a grain of salt. Find the people you trust, find the people you listen to, and then go from there. So let me see. Some stores are understaffed and stay open, so I don't get mad over dead fish. Yeah, I don't either. I just wouldn't buy from the tank. So it's kind of this, if I'm in a store and I see dead fish, especially saltwater, I'll sit when I go to buy saltwater fish, especially. I'll sit there and I'll watch the tank for a while. I'll sit for 5-10 minutes and just stare at the tank and just watch the fish, watch their interactions, watch how they're behaving. Is anyone rubbing on the sides? Is there anyone kind of hidden in the corner? That kind of stuff. So, so most stores remove dead fish when they open up. Yeah, that's kind of what I've seen from, I've never worked in a fish store, so, but definitely something to keep in mind. Another thing that I had on the list, and, Patricia, that is a good point, especially if someone's new. Definitely, knowledgeable staff helps, but at the same time, you need to kind of keep in mind the skeptical side of it and who, what their end goal is as well. So the next one, I kind of put lack of disease, which kind of goes along with the dead fish. You don't want to have a bunch of diseased fish, so it's definitely something you want to keep an eye on. Kind of know the signs of disease. If you buy from a store, for example, there's a store not by me, but it's probably about 40 minutes away. It's one that I kind of normally will hit up in my rounds when I go, which isn't very often anymore, but I do go occasionally. Especially when I'm looking for saltwater stuff, because there's not really a club scene here, and the clubs for saltwater in general don't have the auctions and all the things like that a freshwater club would have. It's more centered around coral than it would be the fish. So that being said, though, there's a store I go to. I know that it's kind of prone to disease, so everything in that store, but they happen to have weird things, which we'll get to in a minute. Which is why I will at least stop in there and take a look. Is you always have to, check for diseases. If the store has diseases, in this store, they have a sale every July. And I have decided that, I've done it a couple times. He brings in a ton of fish. The prices are cheap. There's a billion people there. It's kind of nuts. But the problem is those fish are so stressed and so diseased that I've never had one make it more than a couple months. And this is saltwater, mind you, so it's a little bit different. But still, it's something, I've decided that, that sale is basically a no-go. Just because of the, it's kind of sickening, honestly. There's people, he's selling them out of the box and stuff like that. You can't really, it's not my thing. So, hey Daryl, how's it going? I try to limit the times I buy there, but at the same time, I have found some things there that I've never found anywhere else. So it's one of those things where it's kind of one of those, you got to kind of weigh the good with the bad. And if you go to a store, you need to know what store. Eventually, you learn that store, and you learn basically, what its deal is. It's a lot. That store, for example, it's a lot of transshipped fish. He tries to keep them and turn them. You just kind of figure that out after a while, and you just know, what you're buying. You know what you're getting yourself into. And then you've made the conscious choice. Now, you can argue you shouldn't support a store like that because if you're giving them your money, then you're just furthering it along. And that's true. So there's a balance that everyone has to have there, and it's your own kind of moral stance and everything on it as well. All right, the next one is something, and this is where I'm kind of hard on local fish stores because I don't go a lot anymore because of this. This is one of the reasons I don't go, is to have something rare there. So a lot of the times, if you go to the store, go to the fish store, there's something. I need to find something rare, and this is really true with saltwater. Like, I need to find that rare fish, that's something that will keep me coming back. Like, if I go into the store and there's just guppies, yellow tangs, your run-of-the-mill clownfish, I get bored with it, and I'm like, okay, I'll leave. But a lot of people, that's what makes the store money, so I understand having those things, and you need to have those. So people, so your beginners keep coming in, they're kind of the gateway drug, et cetera, et cetera. But I want something rare, too, that will keep me coming back. So that's something, like the store I mentioned a few minutes ago, that's something that I can definitely, that's what keeps me going to that store, is that, occasionally, when I go to fish shopping, which isn't all the time, maybe once every couple months or something. Hey, Dr. Black, how are you doing? So, one of the things is I lost my train of thought. So, aquarium thoughts. True, I wish stores with special ordered species. They are the same in every store. Exactly. It's like, there's so many choices online now. You can almost just go online and do it. So it's one of those things where you want to go online or do you want to go somewhere else? Who knows? But I need something rare to keep me going. If I just keep going in there and it's just the same old thing, same old thing, same old thing, same old thing, I'm out. I'll go to the auction, or I'll go to the local fish club, or I'll go online. That's just what I'll do. Especially freshwater, it seems to be pretty easy to ship freshwater fish, and not terribly, terribly expensive. So it's one of those things where, I'll just go to Get Gills or Aquabid or wherever, and I'll buy what I want to buy. So it's one of those, I need something where it's not going to work. The next one is kind of interesting. This is the last thing I wrote down. Is that the staff is helpful, but not intrusive. So there used to be a local reef forum here, and they had the store review section. And it's one of these things that's like, it was the vendor feedback. And these guys would go on there and they rant and rave about all the stores. Sometimes the stores would go on there, they advertise themselves, and it turned into like a big pissing match between all the different stores. The stores and the customers. Oh, you treated me like crap. You didn't talk to me, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't necessarily need to be greeted like the second I walk in the store. Like, I'll walk in, I'll look at stuff, and this is the way I'm this way with everything, not just fish. Like, I don't need you to talk to me. I want you to leave me alone, and I'll get you when I need you. There's a furniture store here in the Metro Detroit area that's notorious for their salespeople literally, like, chasing you around the store. Like, they're so aggressive for the commission that they'll, like, literally, like, chase you around. It's ridiculous. Actually, I went in there one time, because this was when I was younger and had time. But I went in there, and I literally just wanted to look at something. And I literally walked this poor dude in circles. Like, I walked around, like, I just kept like zigzagging through all the furniture, and I'd like watch him do this the whole time. And it was just, it was funny to like, and he was just chasing me. I'm like, I just want to look at a couch. Just leave me alone. It's like, yeah, just leave me alone. Like, I don't need you to help me. Like, I can help myself. So, looks like we got Dr. Black's in here. Yeah, so I asked my LFS fish ordering dude to get me some Aguna. All I did was act confused. Yeah, you got Matthew Moore's. Most of them are locally grown. Most of the people buying the goods are willing to pay for healthy fish. So common in the States for people to buy a fish for $3. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Thank you for putting the Get Gills link on there, Candy. So Turbo Fish is on the path towards the store. Number one thing people come for is the experience. Got to have a broad mix of common to rare while keeping customer service a top priority. Yep, agreed. So yeah, aquarium thoughts. I'm this way as well. I'm an impulse buyer, so I need to see it in the store. I am, and there's like a list. I have a list, especially with clownfish. I don't have any open breeding tanks right now, but if I did, I have a mental list. If I see this fish, I'm buying it, right? So there's a certain number of fish that are on the list, and there's some like guppies, gadiads, and things like that that are on the list as well. So that's that. I've got some awesome stores around me, and my wife hates. Yes, my wife doesn't like it anymore either. All right, so Chewy's got a good comment here. However, the average shopper may look at a guppy in the store. They may not know that the true guppy strains that are special ordered cost more. Yeah, that's true. So he did his first order with Live Fish Direct because they sold nothing but 6 cichlids. True. Slime call type if you want Chelsea and Katie to come. So apparently we may have slime monsters coming at some point here. So, and I just lost my chat box again, like I do every single time I do this. I don't know what I do to lose it. Maybe it's this. No, I don't want to log out. All right. Let's go ahead and let's move on to the topic of the week. I'll just catch the chat. Keep the chat here. So this one's going to be fun. I normally don't get worked up about stuff, but this is ridiculous, and so I'm going to show it to you guys. I saw this on Facebook today. One of my saltwater friends actually posted it on his page. And there they come.
We heard the slime call. We had to come.
So we've got slime doctors. And so this is good. We can ask the slime doctors.
So what's that person saying about your couch?
Oh.
We turned on your, I want to find the couch. Leave me alone.
Oh, yeah. So you got to turn that down. All right. So I want you two to tell me what you think of this.
About?
So I'm gonna pull it up on the computer screen here too. All right. So this thing is called the Goldfish Swim. So it's Sunday, August 11th at 2 p.m. So you can catch Spring and Dale at this unique end of season event. Kids 12 and under try to catch 1,002 goldfish swimming in the pool with their bare hands. No nets, poles, or help from mom and dad. Bring a plastic bucket to take your new pet home. This is free to pool members with ID cards, and you can pay $3. So, do you guys think this is a problem?
Tell me.
Well, goldfish are invasive species right now. So,
What does that mean?
there's just way too many. And so, it kind of does help to take some of them, out of the lakes and stuff.
Well, they're not in the lakes, though. They're fish that they buy from PetSmart, right? And remember, the lakes have that. The swimming pool has chlorine. Remember, the swimming pool has chlorine in it, which is not really good for the fish.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's a good idea.
Right, and then in goldfish.
We should go catch a bunch of fish and bring them back.
I'm not doing that
from
with my
this
bare
weird
hands.
place.
Yeah, so this place... Right, so this is like... Those are your signs, yes.
Did I find something?
So, let me...
He's the actual drone breaker. Put it back on your YouTube thing. So we can see us.
So...
Put it back so we can see
No, I can't right now.
He's the one who actually drove the ground.
Alright, yes, I know I broke the dome. I
The
see
dome.
dead fish in the pool, yeah.
Most
So-
likely.
I had a little fun with this. So, let me go on to the next
It's a
part of
little
this.
hot in here.
Well, then you guys can go back inside.
I'm gonna take this off. Yeah, I'm gonna do
Sorry,
comments.
there's
All right.
no tea to spill. Tell him to do something bad so there's more tea to spill.
Alright.
Bye.
Bye, folks. Do the slime call next time.
Yeah, there was barely anybody who did it.
Gee, I'm curious
It's
why.
away. A-W, until you want to stop.
Okay. Alright, see ya.
Slime call. Here it will come.
Alright, so the next part of this, which I went through their Facebook page a little bit, and so I'm going to pick on them a little bit because, that was dumb that they did that. So I think they're not going to do it anymore because there was a petition out on change.org, and people really, took it to them. And so I went on their page, and then, you go through their Facebook page, and like 3 weeks ago, you can take your pet and get a picture of it. So you can take your dog and get a picture of it, but they're going to kill all the goldfish. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like... Yeah. I mean, they literally had like thousands of comments that they just literally... people took it to them. I mean, people were calling the SPCA, whatever it is, the SPCA or whatever it's called. Definitely, people like went after them. So, but then you can take your dog, which I found kind of funny. And then the last one, and then I found this to be. I looked in their, I went to their city webpage, Candy, and I didn't see it there as well. So maybe they stopped it completely. I'll put the change.org link in here so that you guys can see it in the chat. Maybe. So that's the change.org link. So after the stream's over, if you guys would go over there and check it out, that'd be appreciative. And then the funniest part I found, and maybe other people's cities do this, but they don't do this around here. But they actually told you that they're gonna where the sobriety checkpoint is, which I thought was weird. Like we're gonna set this up so if you're drunk, don't drive here. Isn't it kind of and I'm taking this a little far, I know, but yeah, hit the like button, please. Yeah, but it's weird that they tell you where it is. That seems kind of dumb. They don't do it, in Michigan that way. So, but that's what they do. So Katie H is a Slimer. So that's good to know. And then I actually do have a real Facebook post of the week. After I did pick on the, they announced it on the radio. That makes no sense. I'm sorry. Oh, they have to announce it, but okay, that's weird. That seems weird to me, but all right. Yeah, I think the Springfield Pike. They probably hide it in the newspaper. Yeah, it's on the newspaper that no one gets anymore. So let's go ahead and go to the real post of the week. So this one is finally got my 125-gallon tank, but I'm very nervous about switching my fish to the new tank. What's the best way to do it? And then how long will I need to run the new tank? Do I need to let it run for a few days before putting fish in? Do I need to put fish in there while it's cycling? The filter for the new tank is used, so it has bacteria in it already. I'm sorry, but I just don't want to kill all my babies. Been raising them for 6 months. Any help is appreciated. All right, one, if you take some of the old decorations from your current tank and put them in there, you'd be fine, especially like a sponge filter. And then I think you would be okay. I don't know about this used filter that she bought with it. I mean, I wouldn't use that. But I would use, I would use something, the decorations, anything from your current tank. So that's what I would do there. I thought that was interesting. That was an interesting post that kind of caught my eye. Speaking of that, the 125, the new 125-gallon tank that you saw a couple weeks ago is almost done. So I should be getting that done here shortly. And then let me flip to the last thing I want to show you guys. I'm going to go to the screen share. Alright. So let's play this again. Let's take the volume off. There we go. Alright, let's play that again. Alright. I want to make one of these. So if you see, it's like a magnetic little bowl, and you can just pull the fish off of it. That's perfect. Yeah, so exactly what you guys said. Put the filter from the old tank into the new one. Exactly. Yeah, so I want to figure out how to make that. So let me go back here. Alright, so do you guys have any more thoughts now that we kind of talked about the goldfish thing? We talked a little bit about the 125-gallon tank. So I'm going to be off the next couple of days, Thursday and Friday anyway. And there's some work I need to do here in the fish tank barn. Kind of finish up getting everything set up. Hey Lacey, how's it going? So the 125 is almost ready to have fish in it, so I will probably be doing an update video on the progress for Sunday. And then there are a couple of fish things going on as well. There's the Fishy Bingo at the the Motor City Aquarium Society. And more than likely, I will be heading to Grand Rapids on Saturday to see Matt Pedersen speak at the Grand Valley Aquarium Club. He's going to be talking about breeding saltwater fish, which will be definitely very interesting as well. That's going to be freshwater in the 125. The plywood tank, what I'm going to end up doing is that's going to actually be... Hold on. I'm actually going to use the 180-gallon tank for saltwater. There's some work I want to do on that 240, and then I'm actually going to put some cichlids in there. I did go to a cichlid swap this weekend, and I picked up some little tiny Aristochromis christii that I am going to grow out and probably put in the 240, along with some other pretty big predator hap cichlids. So I got those from Cunningham Cichlids, so if you could check him out as well. He's fairly local here. Am I spinning, guys? Or is it just my own phone? Alright, let me go ahead. Let's keep going. So someone asked, where's the drone? Alright, so the drone is here. Obviously, we're not going to fly it. Yes, I do have quite a few saltwater species only tanks. So all of my 20-gallon clownfish tanks are species only. Okay, weird. Yeah, I'm buffering Yeah, I'm buffering on my end too. And it's weird because I don't have any drop frames, or I'm only using 9% of the CPU, so I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe I'll refresh my own page here. Let's see what it does. Alright, good. Alright, if you refresh it, it should work. Alright, good. Alright. So, I have been playing around with the drone a little bit. So, if you watch the MBI video from Sunday, the first beginning shot of that video is a drone shot over the buddy of mine who has the MBI conference's lake. So basically took the drone, kind of low down, kind of tilted the camera towards the water, and just kind of did a speed shot over the lake. Kind of had it come up into the crowd a little bit. So definitely pretty interesting. It's been fun to play with this. The species-only tanks I have are primarily clownfish. So there are 8 species of clownfish I have right now. I might do a couple more. I've been debating ever since the MBI conference of maybe doing some bigger tanks and doing like angelfish, like Center Pyge angelfish, which are things like the flame angel, the coral beauty, those kind of fish. So I need to measure the 37-gallon cubes and see how tall they are, but I might turn those into saltwater breeding tanks as well. Yes, the Red Sea clownfish is beautiful. I can show you if I can find it. It's not here, is it? No, I don't have it here. But I do have the field guide for the clownfish. So, Lacey, it depends on which ones. I generally I like the natural forms, honestly. Like, I do like some of the Picassos and those things. You know, those are all kind of naturally occurring genes. Like the lightning maroon, for example, is a naturally occurring gene. A lot of those are naturally occurring. But they do have some crosses. They have some, like, tomatoes and perk crosses, and those are kind of weird. So it's more of, like, bringing out the genetic, like, morphs than anything else. I mean, there's a few out there, but it's kind of hit or miss. I've honestly not seen that, Chewy. Like, I've kept mine at lower salinity. Like, I've had mine almost go, like, not go fresh, but go, like, hyposalinity, like 1.009. But yeah, I mean, obviously you want to keep it. You know, a lot of breeders actually will run their systems at 1.020 instead of like 1.026 or 7 like you would need for coral. So Melvin's would do a chromis and cardinal fish like the Bengai or pajama. Yeah. Oh, I've got this on top chat. Oops. So if I missed anyone's chat, I apologize. Let me go back through here. No, I never found the one that flew away. Let me see. Yeah, so Lacey, they are from different areas. A lot of them are, some of them aren't. You know, there are some crosses, right? So you've got, you know, if they're in the same area, I mean, they do cross. I mean, they are the same species. They're all the same genus. They're all, other than the maroons, are all Amphiprion. But a lot of them are in different parts of the world. So, and then there's also some, like, location variation as well. If I have the, I don't have it here, do I? Let me see. Nope, it's not here. So, I mean, there's like 13 or 14 different types of Clarkie clowns just based on where they're located. One of the things I would do too is that might be not a bad thing either, Melvin, is do the Bengai. So that's definitely something I'm going to consider, as well as doing like the Bengai, the group of Bengai tanks. I've seen people do them in like totes and stuff, and you basically can colony breed those almost. And then, let's see. Hey, Chewy, can you give me a species name on the Red Sea clown? I think those are like. Let me look. Let me see which one this is. Oh, yeah. Okay, I've seen these before. Oh, I have some of these. I have the Spot Cinctus. They're captive raised. So you definitely can breed the, or you can keep a lot of the Bicinctus. A lot of them are captive raised now. So I do have some of those. So Lacey's, so if you breed ones from different parts, you get new breeds, but the ones that cross in the wild are mutts, like cichlids. Yep, yeah, actually it's got a different environment than they have had. People kept them. No, they really are not really like breeds, you'd say. Like, I'd say Lacey, there's... we'd have to almost get Matt Pedersen. I know a little bit about this, but a lot of it seems to be more... It's not really crossing them with each other. It's more or less like different genetic... it's bringing out different genes. Like, I'm going to use the Lightning Maroon because that's the simplest example. Is basically you can bring, that Lightning Maroon is a genetic gene in maroon clownfish from Papua New Guinea. So Matt Pedersen got the only fish and was able to breed it with other PNG maroons to bring out that lightning pattern. So it's more of a genetic thing than it is like crossing species. Have you thought about getting the epic fish Oreochromis tangus, the lake, maybe. Yeah, it's genetically involved, like Chewy said. So, let me pull up something here, and we'll talk a little bit about it. So, just give me 1 second, and I'll pull up, let's do that. Alright, so we're going to go to the screen share, and let me see if I can move me. Nope. Alright, we're going to have to just do that. Alright, so, this is your plain normal Ocellaris. So this is an Ocellaris as well, Lacey, but this comes from Australia, and this is the only place where you can find this. So then you've got the Latticenatus, which is not crossed with anything. That's a pretty rare species, right there. And then these are just different color morphs of this black Ocellaris. So basically, as like the mutated fish have come out, like it'll be more and more black. Same with this gold dot, the lightning maroon. The Picasso, from my knowledge, let me pull that up for you. The Picasso, from my knowledge, is actually more of a... it's actually a wild variant. They've actually found those in the wild. And then you got your Clarkies. I have some of the Spot Cinctus. So this is the Amphiprion Bicinctus that Chewy was talking about. You've got your skunks, the fire clowns here. These get confusing between the cinnamon, this Fiji barbari, and this tomato. So you've got these different morphs of the Perculas as well. So you have this Maine blizzard, which is similar to things like a Wyoming white, what's the other one called? can't remember. But you've got these are all different genetic morphs. You know, you got this gladiator, which is like a wide bar. You've got these naked ones, which they don't have any stripes. Some of the striping, from what I've heard with clownfish, can be environmental as well. And then if we hit this next button here, see what other ones. See, same thing here. You know, there's the Thunder Maroon now, which is basically looks like similar to the Lightning Gene, but it's almost all white. You've got snowflakes. So like this Snow Onyx, right? So they took, like this is a hybrid, like you were talking about, Lacey. So they took a particular type of Ocellaris and a particular type of Porcula and bred those together. So that's one that's that you could say. It's with the Wyoming White. There's these flurries, the frostbites. You know, you've got the galaxies here. You know, you've got all these different mutations, right? This is one of my favorites. The Black Onyx Porcula. This is one of my favorites there. Now you can get some, and I don't know if they have anything in here, but we'll look real quick. They do have some of the aberrant strains. A lot of the pelagic spawning species, which are the fish that will do the, you know, they'll do the dive, or they'll send up into the reef and they'll spawn like, basically kind of like broadcast spawners. Now you can get some hybrids with those that are pretty interesting, just because they will, the gametes will intermix with each other, and these, you know, fish may spawn at the same time, and so we'll see if there's anything in Diver's Den that's where you'd find that. So let's take a look. See if there's anything wild in here. I always like those. They may not have anything, but we'll take a look. So when I was talking about the Center Pyge angelfish here, so these are like the flames here. And then you've got your Pomacanthus, which are like your emperors, your queen angels, the French angel, all of those. And then there's a couple other types as well. Let's take a look. I don't know if they have any. These are, wrasses are always fun too. But I've really never done a wrasse. Maybe I should do a wrasse tank. So, like the Holocanthus one, sorry, these queens are Holocanthus, I apologize. But these, if you ever get into angelfish, are pretty aggressive. These ones aren't as bad. No hybrid so far. So apparently, if you want a gem tang, the time is now. If you want to cough out $700. Oh, that's cool. Wow, check that out. $9,000. That's the. Sorry, I flipped over to watch for a minute and see the chat for a second. All right, so if you got $9,000, you can get this. So it's a Cook Islands Pitcairn angelfish. So it's a Genacanthus spinus. Never seen that before in my life. But if you got $9,000, it can be yours. So, all right. So I don't see any hybrids in here, but oh, there's another one in here. Wow. So let me flip it back over to me. All right. All right. So Lacey, is that the only clowns that the male and female have different markings, or was that a mix? So it doesn't. The markings, clownfish don't necessarily have markings to differentiate sex. How it works, Lacey, is basically, and I don't remember the scientific name, and I don't want to get it wrong because there's different ones. But so basically, what'll happen is in a group of clownfish on the reef, your most socially dominant fish will become the female. The second most dominant fish will become males, and then anything else is going to be nothing. We'll call it like Pam or Doctor Who. So the next fish will be like, the other fish will just be nothing. And then, for example, like we saw, like the angelfish, right? The more dominant fish will become the male, and the next dominant will become the female. So it's different, and then some are actually, like human beings. What's the term? So basically, yes, two different pairs. One had a mark, and the other one did. Yeah, it's just dependent on the fish. It's not. It's in the genetics, water quality of the fish. It's not in the, it isn't. You can't sex clownfish by their markings. The females will always be bigger. The males will always be smaller. All right. So in Finding Nemo, when Nemo's mom died, so basically, when Nemo's mom passed away, what would have happened is Nemo's dad would have become his mom, and Nemo would have become the male and would have mated with his dad, if you want to put that there. Yes, the Bangais are something that definitely interests me as well. Let me see. Bangai, they did that. So Candy, were you able to have the male spit them, or did you have to egg tumble them? I've had to do both. Like, I had a male Bangai that literally was like holding in the bag at the store, so I bought him along with the female, and literally like, he would eat the eggs half the time, and I stripped him one time, and then I egg tumbled him, in like a cup, basically. I got him to hatch, believe it or not, but they did, because you want to have like a rounded bottom for them. Yeah, okay, so you had a good male then. Mine always kind of was half baked. He'll eat them, and then he wouldn't eat them. It's like, so one of those things I have to get into doing again at some point. Because, for like my Saltwater Breeders Award Program stuff, like, all I need to do is get one to live to 60 days, and then I'd be able to have that species done. Yeah, the males always spit. Yeah, see, mine always wouldn't. He'd eat them. I think it depends on the species, Pam. I think a lot of the cichlids are actually maternal mouth brooders, and then but in Bangais are paternal mouth brooders. So the male will actually hold the eggs. I can't overhaul. So I had one of the aquarius at the New England Aquarium. Try to teach me saltwater as well as author Albert Teal. When I had my tank when it was in the 70s. Oh, okay. So does anyone... Valley Fish is here. How's it going? So does anyone else have any... we'll call it. So we got about 10 minutes left or so. Does anyone have any further... to bring it back to the fish store discussion, any more thoughts on the fish store? And what you think the... what makes... what are kind of like the expectations? Because that, I did find that video kind of interesting. Obviously, people were stupid and they went after Michael a little bit, which is what they do. But so, So yeah, this week should be interesting fish-wise. So we have the the Motor City Aquarium Society Fishy Bingo. So I was gonna bring in a bunch of fish for Breeders' Award points, but they're not doing VAP this month, so I have to bring them in next month, which I was kind of disappointed in. So I've got to move some tank. I wanted to kind of combine some fish. I've been holding some of the Gadian fry separate from the parents, and I wanted to get my points for them, but I'll have to wait another month. But I did find my mystery leak. I don't know if I've really talked about that, but there was something leaking in here. I'm sort of familiar with it, Chewy. I went to the Rare Guppy show, but I didn't actually, I don't go and, I can only do so many fish things. And, I keep guppies as part of my fish room, but they're not, my sole focus in life. There are some people in that group that I've seen or heard of that I think that's what they do. So, guppies are what, that's their sole focus, that's what they do, which is perfectly fine, if that's your passion. But I kind of want to keep a diversity. So I'm trying to kind of stay out of the, the one, type of fish club. Yeah, nope, understand. I actually have, Chewy, some of Stan Schubel's original guppies in this fish barn. They're the Schubel Blues. They're dying them downstairs. I've got a few fry from them, not a lot yet. I've been doing too much work and not enough feeding, I think. So we'll have to get up on that. Yeah, so Stan Schubel was from about an hour north of here. About an hour northeast, actually. So I looked that up when I bought those guppies. I was like, he must be from around here if those fish are here. So, yeah, so Michigan has a pretty rich history fish-wise. I think Jim Langhammer's from somewhere around here, too. Yeah, so that's, let me see. Yep. Gary is in, the Mousseaus are around as well. Yep. So they're in our club too. So I didn't know if he was necessarily famous or not, but I didn't know if, I didn't run into, I actually saw him Saturday when I was at the cichlid swap. Yeah, so that's the thing, is the saltwater side I know all the names, right? But in the freshwater side, I really don't. I just kind of, I know some, but I don't know all of them, right? Because I kind of did freshwater through YouTube and not originally through the fish club. So, but yeah, and I know who they are. All right, so we got about 5 minutes left. Do you guys have any last questions? So if you guys want to, after this stream is over, go ahead and hit up Dr. Black. He should be coming on here shortly. I think he comes on in about half an hour or so. Yep, Dr. Black's live next. So with that being said, then, if you guys don't have any further questions, I think I am going to shut it down for the night. So it's been a long weekend. I can't complain. I played golf yesterday for work, so I can't really complain. So he's right after. Okay. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and get out of here. We'll let Dr. Black go ahead and get going. So he's live from Australia, I believe. I'm not getting off. So, all right. Henrik, so are we playing the game? Or not? So we have Henrichthes Carpentis. I think that's a cichlid. That's an African cichlid. I think that's an African cichlid. Let's look it up. Let me go ahead here. We will go to the Googles. That sounds like a cichlid. I've had. Oh, is it? Probably one of those. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you and Scott with your South American cichlids. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, it's pretty cool. All right, let's go to the screen share real quick, and I will show you the Henricthus carpintis. So, not too bad. You can hang with that. I'll give you Pearl set. Oh, the Texas set. Okay. Oh, jeez. Siglitz 23 has a question, so let me get off the screen share, and I will find Siglitz 23's question. Sorry, chat jumped on me. Where's IFG? I thought the dark ones were tomatoes. They're kind of confusing. So the tomatoes are, it's kind of location specific. Like the between the tomatoes and the cinnamons and those, I think the cinnamons are actually more dark than the tomatoes. Tomatoes are generally lighter. Reef chromis are beautiful. Let me see if I missed anyone else's. And make sure that was the only question I missed. I think that was it. So, what about Lake Tang tilapia? I think I read that, but I'd have to see the size. I don't think that. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking like the Christie and maybe like the Malawi trout, and then I don't know, maybe something else. We'll see. I have to do some more research on the 18 inches max, and we can maybe do that. Oh, 18 inches. That's probably a little big even for the 240. All right. So, yeah, trouts are going to get that big too. That's true. So, all right, guys. So, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. If you're not subscribed here, please hit the subscribe button, ding the notification bell, watch as many videos as you can. Yeah, the Christias will get 15 too. So, I mean, they're going to go in the big 240 tank, which is kind of the plan, right? I mean, right now they're in a 10 gallon because they're like this big. But, yeah, those will get big, which is fine. Which is kind of was the plan to get some bigger fish in here as well. So, go ahead and check out Dr. Black. Have a good night, and we will see you on Sunday for another video.